My, what do we have here?
Be damn sure the pilot washed his hands and sealed his face. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name.
I love you, man.
But what's puzzling you is the nature of my game. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name. Oh, yeah.
In 1993, I first saw This Boy's Life, and I got such a crush on this amazing actor. He actually was one of my favorite performances in that film. It starred Leo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro, and his performance was so touchingly powerful with so many different levels. And we have that actor here with us today, someone who I can now call my friend, Mr. Jonah Blechman. Hello. Yay! Hey, JB.
Hey, Zimzy.
How are you?
I am well, considering these wild days. Wild days in so many different regards. And as we're now shooting this right before the holiday, and getting this new wave, if you will, of what's going on with the virus, it is just interesting to see how we're all going to respond to saving ourselves.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the challenge. It's here.
Yeah.
This is what a lot of us knew that was coming at one time or the other, this time of shifting. And it's definitely shifting.
Yeah, I feel like I can certainly feel everyone's exhaustion and wanting to reconnect. And we were kind of this close to getting to do that, but now having the backlash of that is intense. It's asking for even more of our patience and just the resources that are needed. But
how do you deal with it? I mean, how do you center yourself?
Well, working out is very helpful. I've also been working more than I ever have during this time with a network that I'm a partner of called Reverie, which is the first and largest LGBT streaming platform, queer TV, if you will. And because home entertainment has had such a big rise, it has really raised the profile and of Reverie, of the company. And so it's actually been likely the busiest time I've ever had during these COVID days. So how I center is I get to work out. I get to make sure I have my physical centering. I'm eating well as I possibly can, making sure that I'm staying healthy in that regard. I'm a meditator. I've been meditating every day of my life since I was 18 years old. So that has been really important for me, my spiritual practice, all of these elements. I feel like we're really needing to be working all of these muscles of what self-care is and balance in order to really get through this.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear what you're saying, because I feel like I have those in my life, yet the last week or two I've been a little heavy on being, gotta work, gotta do this, gotta do that, just to keep my mind busy and everything. And this little voice in my head just said, David, listen to Jonah and take your little breaths and get on your bike that you just built that you could cardio and stick your head out of the window and take some air.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot to balance all of this right now, and it's such new ground for everyone, and certainly our industry is just upside down, as is so many industries, and and we have to listen to that quiet voice to really hear what is our next step, because we're going day by day, and what really is best for me to do right now or today, or this coming weekend. Yeah, it's important to be able to have whatever your daily appetite is of the news and how much you're taking in there.
30 minutes. That's it.
Okay.
For me.
That's good. Yeah, I feel like we're all kind of trying to, as it's like being in an earthquake. The
Right.
bottom is moving, so it's hard to have any kind of security or balance in that. So you're really having to figure that out.
Well, what's interesting, I'm hearing this now, and the what we're going through, but I also think how powerful we are, because I don't know, I think it was around 2005, 2006, I'm not sure exactly, but I was watching This Boy's Life on television, and I was saying, oh, I love this movie, and again, I came across your performance, and I was I saw the whole movie, and yes, I love De Niro, I love DiCaprio, but you were incredible. I was like smitten all over again. And I said, I have to see what this guy's up to. So I went on IMDb, and I was going, oh my God, this film and this, I gotta get these and look at these. The very next day, I'm at, what is it, the Directors Guild for the Film Society. And I'm walking in there, and I see this guy, and he looks sort of familiar, but like a little older. And I went, that can't be him, can it? And I go up to you and say, is your name Jonah? And you said, yes. And I was like, oh my God. And then we started hanging out and became friends. It was so Angela Rockwood manifestation. It was like 24 hours. It's like, oh my God.
Wow, was that then? That was in the 2000s.
I think it was like right before you did Big Gay Love. I mean, not Big Gay.
Another gay movie.
Another gay movie.
Yes, another gay movie. Yes,
another gay movie.
Yeah, that would have been in those days. Yeah, I'm so grateful for the work of that, and I look at the roles I've been getting, that I've gotten to do, that the universe has put in front of me to be able to show up for, that I was appropriate for. It's so much of, I guess, my own philosophy about what work is, and how things kind of culminate. And getting to be an LGBT character in that film, kissing Leonardo DiCaprio, and then stepping into more work that was LGBTQ. And now it's so much a part of my mission to support representation, and getting to grow up in a family that was so supportive of my own identity and sexuality.
Yeah.
Kind of led to this, where I am today, and now getting to shepherd so much LGBT content.
Have you always, when did you know? When did you feel like, hey, this is who I am? Or was it just you?
Well, I grew up as a dancer. So I started dancing when I was 4 years old, ballet and tap. And, somehow I was asking to do that. And I was born into a family that said, okay, sure. And then stepped into jazz and Russian character, and really was with the San Francisco Ballet at the age of 6, and then training intensely up until working with Baryshnikov when I was 14 years old, and getting to train with him and 3 other boys in the country for a summer. So I was always certainly living very much what would be considered more of a queer young boy's life.
Yeah.
But I wasn't out until even after This Boy's Life. That was something that I had to, that wasn't okay back then still. And I was still, so young that in my career, my agents, once I shared with them, they didn't want me to do other LGBT characters. I didn't really come out clearly to everyone until I was around 18, 19. But I knew certainly my sexuality, my attraction, being around male bodies as a dancer. I was pretty clear that attraction was there, but I wasn't, I didn't have my own self permission to let that be okay until later on.
Right. Now, and how was it? How was it working with DiCaprio and De Niro and being in that film? That was your first film, right?
Yeah, that was my first film. I had been training for specifically, I had done like, I'd say like over 40 commercials up in the Bay Area. I'm from the Bay Area, near San Francisco originally, and I'd been training for film and television since I was 11 years old, and I got that when I was 16. So I had been training to do film and television in, beyond commercials for a period of time. So by the time I got that film, I was so excited and certainly felt ready to start really getting to share the work. But yeah, it was wonderful. Robert De Niro is, one of the greatest, and Leo is certainly one of our greatest actors at that time. This was his first real drama role. People didn't fully know what he was going to be or who he was going to be. We had a great time together. He became a friend, certainly during those earlier years. But it was just getting to work and do great work with great actors. I didn't know any different. I had been training to do that kind of work. I'd been praying to work with the best and to be able to shine and all of that. So it wasn't something that I felt. I was happy for the opportunity, and that started, of course, my film career and getting to do independent films and television. And
you manifested. Talk about manifestation. You lived manifestation. You didn't even know what it was. You just was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Boom, boom, boom. First thing dancing, and then going into this huge film, and you were playing ball that first film. Like I said, I seriously, I have to say too, that scene, the piano scene, is one of my favorite scenes, top 10 favorite scenes, period, in film history. I made, when we used to have VHS cassettes, I made a tape for my class, and I put, Line in Winter and, the Funny Girl, and then This Boy's Life. That scene is on there. So I would always show the class, see this. I know you see Leo, but watch this guy.
Yeah, that was and that's so funny too, because that specific scene, I remember the Leo saying, "Oh, you're gonna kiss me in this scene." I was like, because that wasn't written, and I was like, "What?" And I was like, "I don't feel like that's what." And I wasn't into that, and I certainly, I know there's so many Leo fans about him, but I wasn't attracted to Leo, and certainly in that time, and it just, and then the director's like, yeah, let's have you guys have this moment. And I just was sort of resisting it, but then I was like, oh no, I get it. This is going to be, wow, this will be something. And yeah, it's certainly one of the most memorable moments from my work in that film, for sure.
It's so interesting to hear. It's interesting. I really was affected by that scene. I think it made me, I saw that between these two people who were sort of had an attraction, and it made me like just jump into that and feel like, oh wow, could I have that kind of thing? And what you explained there about your hesitancy, actually a little about doing it, was in that scene, which created all those levels. I mean, you have so many levels anyway, but it's an extra added bonus.
Yeah. And I wasn't, out even like certainly to people at that time too. And I knew I was playing an effeminate character. I didn't even, consciously call him queer, in that time. But yeah, it was,
No,
it was,
yeah. And then after, I started looking, I watched Treasure Island, I watched Luster, and all these different shows that you want, and then you did your big film, Another Gay Movie.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
You,
Well,
and
and that's funny because I had by the time I got to Another Gay Movie, I had been doing characters. I've been doing all different types of characters, but that came along when I was not even really out in the industry. I was certainly out in my own life, and I had read that script, and I thought, God, I would never be a part of something like this. It's so crude. It was so, and I had never really done a flat out comedy before,
right.
Let alone like such a satire as what the film was. So on some level, I didn't fully understand it, and I was like, okay, I would never be a part of something like this. And it bothered me how strongly I felt about that.
Yeah.
And I knew that there was something in that for me.
Right.
I always, when you have a character or a project that confronts you in some way, scares you or what, I mean, that's what we kind of step into the work for, is to get to some edge or some learning, something new. And I knew that it really bothered me. So I was like, I kind of have to go a little bit deeper into this and see why it bothers me. Why do I feel so judgmental about this? And once I got that, I realized how powerful this type of comedy could be. And that, then I was like, oh my God, I have to be a part of it. And then I jumped in, and I was like, ended up stepping into executive producing it, and then that had its life, and it did very well. And then we did the sequel as well. Yeah. And
I got my copies.
yes. And still, it's like I'm feel very proud. Oh, that's so sweet. I feel very proud of those films. They for so many people of that, even of that era. I mean, the first one came out in 2006, and I think the second one came out in 2008.
Right.
That kind of blew blew people out of the water as far as what a queer comedy could be.
Right.
Because it was very much for those who haven't seen it, it's very much in the vein of Porky's or American Pie.
Right.
Yeah. And so there was that side of things. And I still have so many people that treasure those films, because they were just so outlandish and so wonderfully on the edge.
I love hearing too about how you were hesitant on this too, and that's why I laughed too. It's like, it was one of those laughs of, really? You don't expect that. You just like, okay, we're gonna go balls to the wall, but you were just,
you do there. I mean, we did go balls to the wall.
Yes.
But that's once it was clear, like, okay, I have to either go balls to the wall or I have to say no, because this is such a it's so in your face. It was so confronting. And again, you find those places where, okay, I feel hesitant about this. I feel like I may not be either enough for this, or I might be, or I don't want to project this, or I don't know if this is, if this is in me. And then you get to kind of jump off and find, oh wow, yeah, within the character there was so much. I mean, I played like American Pie, there's the jock and the nerd and the regular guy, and then the queen.
Right.
And I played the queen in the show, and I had my own issues about being that and presenting that, and it scared me.
Yeah.
Scared me to be so. I mean, I'd already grown up as a dancer. I played effeminate characters, but I'm like, this was so over the top, and I didn't want to get stereotyped. I didn't want to be that, because I didn't feel like that's even me, and I felt like it was so. It was just so scary to go that far out with such a queer femme character, which is always kind of the. I think my own homophobia came out with wanting to not present in that way. But to be honest with you, once I stepped in, I became so much more comfortable with my masculinity because I got to blow out this femininity. And I didn't feel, after that performance and after stepping into that character, I felt so much more comfortable in my skin about what my masculinity is and what my femininity is. And before that, I never reached those bounds.
Right.
And that helped me. That certainly helped me. That's, I think, where stepping into characters really expand you and give you
the yin and yang.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what? Michael Carbonaro was in that film with you. That was one of his first films.
Yeah, there was.
And
Michael Carbonaro.
Yeah.
Oh, connecting to some audio.
You saw my name.
What? No way.
See, the magician.
Oh my gosh.
Is it real?
My brother.
Remember it.
I haven't seen you since Halloween.
Yes, exactly. And then this whole COVID time.
What's this now?
I don't know.
I haven't been following the news.
I know.
Michael, make it go away.
I know. I started it. It was the only way I could get a break.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Were you listening the whole time? How did you know to jump in?
I just got a sense inside. I don't know if you were sending out vibes, but I got this sense that I was like, I just knew the password. I went in and there, I knew it.
Yeah.
This wasn't planned.
Amen. Oh my God. How fun.
Yeah. What's up?
Yeah.
No, I haven't been listening. I was like in a dark waiting room. It just said, David will let you in when he's darn well good and ready.
I had to wait for the right time.
What were you talking about? What's happening?
Your nudity. Just you.
Just me,
We were
right?
just talking about you the whole time.
Oh, good.
A real build-up. Now the interview gets to start with Michael Carbonaro, everyone.
Now we can really get into the business.
Oh my gosh.